This meeting is being recorded.
Once again, I'd like to remind everyone that this meeting, this celebration of our 75th Toastmasters, San Leandro Toastmaster meeting is being recorded. If you do not like for your image and or name to show in this video, please turn off your video and or rename yourself. Thank you so much for your participation tonight. We look forward to having you in an excellent time. At this moment, I'd like to turn control of our meeting over to our esteemed president, William Way.
Thank you so much, guys. Sorry, I was just muted a little bit earlier, but I think we're all good. I see some familiar faces here, actually, so it's very exciting to see some of you guys back again. I believe William has his hand up, but I'll get back to you in just a second. First of all, it's a pleasure of having everyone here tonight. My name is Will, and I'm the president of this club as of FY 2022. Now, I have been president for about 8 months now, and during this time is when I have learned definitely the most out of my entire time at Toastmasters. I started about 3 years ago, and I just graduated from UCLA, and I wanted to improve my public speaking skills because I do a lot of presentations for my work. Figured there's a local chapter at my city, and one day I decided to go to the library, and I was immediately welcomed with open arms. I met folks like Jim, who's been at this club for many decades, and as well as some of the newer members as well. I very distinctly remember I was able to connect with everyone, and everyone was just super welcoming to me as a guest. I never forget my very first day. So I have a lot of people on the Zoom call to thank and to really mold me into the person that I am today. I started out as VP of membership and then worked my way to VP of education and eventually president. And I've been in the officer position every year that I have been at San Leandro Toastmasters, minus the very first year that I was here. And man, it's been such an amazing journey. You know what's even crazier? Our club is turning 75 years old as of March 1st of this month. I'm only 25 years old, so I cannot think about that time where it just multiplies by 3 of my age. It's just absurd and never heard of. I think 75 years old is even older than my grandpa, to be honest. And that is something that I just cannot fathom. And for those of you guys who do not know, 75 years is a very long time. Not a lot of clubs in the Bay Area or around the world even reach this age. So it is an extremely, extremely prestigious and very, very good term to reach after all this time. It is definitely not an easy ride. I can't imagine what the club was enduring during the past through its difficult times. And even though we are enduring a difficult times in today's world, politics and whatever's going on in this world, I'm just super grateful to be able to sit here in the Zoom call with every one of my club members and improve our public speaking skills and also just stay connected with each other, especially during this COVID era. And most importantly, stay grounded within our community. I think that is something that I definitely get at San Leandro Toastmasters that I do not get anywhere else. I definitely don't get that in a lot of places, and I'm forever grateful to serve as your president. And now back to the MC of the evening. I would like to welcome Joseph. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Will. Yes, when I first walked through the door at Toastmasters International, I got hooked. Not only did I win table topics that night against the area governor, David Orris, at the time, but I soon realized after joining that we get to sit and be audience to so much good character every week. And that is what has kept me enduring for 16 years now. We have a full agenda today, so I'm going to be limited in my interactions so that I can let all our speakers shine, and we have a lot of them. So I'm going to try to move it along best I can. We have the district director of District 57 is here. He is going to be speaking. We have Mayor Pauline Cutter, who will be here, the city that I love, the city by which our name is the namesake, San Leandro Toastmasters. She will be speaking. We have James Jeffley, two-time finalist for the World Championship of Public Speaking. We have former dignitaries. We have people who have been around the world, and I'm excited to share them all with you tonight. So our first speaker is going to be George Marshall, and that will be in another couple minutes. But before you do, let me go through and tell you a little bit about tonight. It's not a typical meeting. There will be no evaluations. We have 3 sessions of table topics, which will be conducted by Aurora Bataclan. 10 minutes, one session, then we're going to break, and we're going to have a speech by Jim Pinio. But before we do, let me start over with the agenda to kind of keep you in the flow of things. After George Marshall speaks, then we're going to have the mayor say some things, and then James Jeffley will speak, and then we're going to have 75 years of the history of the world shown by one of our longest time members here, Ray Keating. And after that, we're going to have a little fun break with table topics for 10 minutes. And it may be during table topics if you need to get up, take a stretch, get a break while you're listening, but maybe just know that you might not be called if you're not the person asking. There's no real breaks in the meeting. It's an hour and a half, and we're going solid. And after 10 minutes of table topics, we'll come back and we'll hear a speech by Jim Pinio, 75 years of the history of Toastmasters International, or San Leandro Toastmasters, rather. Then we'll have another 10 minutes of table topics by Aurora. Then Ron Fitch, our past area governor and person I've competed with on the stage, will be speaking. Then we will have Gigi Zablon speaking. Now, I met her through Desert Voices Toastmasters out of Dubai when she came to visit us and invited us, and as an ambassador, welcomed us to cross the seas of communication. And I was fortunate enough in September to have such a meeting with our fellow Toastmasters in Dubai. And she's going to speak about the togetherness and connectivity of being part of such an international organization. And then another 8 minutes of table topics. And then after that, we'll have a vote. We'll see who gets the vote for the most memorable table topics response. And we'll give the award for that. Then Will Way will close our meeting. So I really hope you look forward to it. It's about time now for George Marshall to present to us. So George, are you ready?
I am.
Okay, everybody, please welcome somebody that I am always happy to see around Toastmasters because he is so helpful and he's so committed to making this organization run the best it can be so that we can be the best we can be. Everyone, please welcome DTM George Marshall, District Director of District 57.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you. And hello and welcome everyone in San Leandro, the guests and the members. Wow. Congratulations on your longevity. San Leandro is the oldest club in District 57. That's older than me. Wow. Old doesn't mean you're stuck, you're there. It means longevity. It means that you have been alive, dynamic, well, growing and operating well the entire time. You're one of the, well, you're the oldest club in District 57. You're also among the top 10 most longevity clubs in all the Bay Area districts, 57, 4, 39, 101. Very, very long time. It takes a long time to stick around this much. In fact, you might have known I'd have some numbers for you. In the entire world of over 16,000 clubs, you're in the top 100 most senior. Most senior. Wow, fantastic. What a great accomplishment. It doesn't just mean that you survived, that you stuck around. I looked at your recent history, and San Leandro is a dynamic club. You do very well You serve your members, people earn awards, you do all the things that a good clubs need to do. In fact, I was just noticing while the record is a little checkered in the past, you've been on a roll. President's Distinguished the last 2 years. Wow, that's fantastic. You're really on a roll. Keep that up. That is absolutely great. You've done a good job of maintaining 20 or more members most years, even during the pandemic. You know, the entire world, all clubs are down on membership mostly. Most of them are, not all of them are. And so for a club to still be in good shape and have more than 20 members 2 years into the pandemic is a fantastic accomplishment. So you're really doing well. In fact, let's try to see if we can come up with some reasoning here. Now, one of the projects and pathways is understanding your communication style. And we normally apply that to an individual member. Yeah, and we've got styles there. But it seems to me that San Leandro Club has its own communication style as well. You're obviously welcoming to guests and prospects and new members because people visit you and they join. You communicate well, obviously, with members as they join and start to get into the program because they are sticking around, they are earning awards, they are doing what they joined to do. So it's an absolutely great accomplishment. Now, I look forward to another 75 years, outliving all of us, I hope, of San Leandro sticking around and doing an absolutely great job. So once again, congratulations to San Leandro Toastmasters Club 452 for not just surviving, but thriving, for being a strong, healthy club, serving your members and showing a good example of what Toastmasters can be like. So congratulations again. And back to you, Joseph.
Thank you, George. Really appreciate that. It seems there are a list of people trying to get in and they're being told that they're locked out. My phone's going off the hook here. We've got several members. If we can check on that, that'd be great. Looks like there's some frustration going on. So everyone be patient. And I'm excited about our next speaker. And is Pauline here? Is the mayor of this beautiful city I love? Has she arrived?
I'm here.
Yay, Pauline. I just want to say I first was introduced to San Leandro as a paramedic when we had our station on 143rd Avenue. And that was 24 years ago. And since then, I've been interwoven with this community. And my 16 years of Toastmasters has helped me meet the most amazing people, including former Mayor Ellen Corbett. And just one after another, I could go down a list of why I love this city. Even walking through my neighborhood, all the places I see with their gardens and the friendliness. So I just want to thank you for that. Make me feel like it's a little plot of heaven on earth. And with that said, please, would you like to tell our club that's been enjoying 75 years of helping San Leandro shine as you've helped us thrive?
Thank you. Before I get started though, like you, I'm getting some phone calls because I think in the chat, some people have hacked and they've put some, not nice things in the chat. And I just want to make sure that they're not attributed to the people that supposedly said them, because that's way off base. So everybody knows that from here. Okay, so I've done my duty. I did hear from Juan and he is trying to get back into the meeting. So hopefully that's your department, not my department for once. So I'm glad. Anyway, I just want to say congratulations on your 452 for the Toastmasters Club for your 75 years of continuous service and just being in existence, helping each other, helping other people give voice to their opinions and to their stories and communicating, giving folks a way to just be more effective and to get their thoughts across to people. I certainly know that having self-confidence in front of people is something, I had to learn. I was always a pretty vocal child, but when it gets time to talking, when it really matters, that's when you learn the skills that you need to learn. And I think it's something that I learned. I was a teacher. I was a preschool teacher, so my vocabulary is very rudimentary. Didn't have to come up with those big words, but my job was to teach manners and things like that. And so those are skills, but communication is key to what we do as human beings. And I think that anytime you can accelerate people's learning of how to communicate, how to be effective, it's a good thing. And I know for myself that whenever you're speaking from your heart, people can tell, and they just kind of naturally gravitate towards what you're saying. They may not even agree with what you're saying, but they know when you're speaking from your heart that at least you're trying to communicate with them and they listen. And that's something that, you're not going to learn anything if you can't listen. So congratulations on being those speakers. I know when I first was asked to speak at a Toastmaster, I thought, even though I've been doing it my whole life, all of a sudden, whoops, I better worry about what I'm saying and not say a whole bunch of times and things like that. But and thank you for having me here, and thank you for being in our community. Our community, as you can see, is made up of so many different groups and so many different thoughts and causes and opinions and ideas. And it's really great when you can have a place to come and voice them and learn to be more effective communicators. So with that, I just want to say thank you from San Leandro. We really appreciate you being here. I am going to sign off pretty quick because I had another engagement. And so I really am very, very happy that you kind of stuck to your timelines and so forth. And that means my family's not going to yell at me for being again away from them one more time. But thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, Pauline. You're welcome, and have a great night with your family. Thanks again. I love San Leandro. Keep up the good work. Okay, James Jeffley, has he arrived? Again, my phone is still going off the hook saying people can't get in.
Yes, I am here.
Yay, James. So great to see you as always.
Likewise.
Everyone, I have to say, James is two-time finalist on the World Championship of Speaking. But I love James because of what he does as a human being in the community, trying to bring spiritual wellness and health and love. And I had the good fortune of attending one of his services in the neighborhood where I took 2 bullets trying to make peace. And one of the assignments was to just stand and look eye to the person standing across from us. And the eyes are the windows to the soul. And when we take the time to take that journey and the patience and the vulnerability to look, amazing treasures can be unlocked. And that's why I'm excited to have James speak tonight, because I'm sure he's about to unlock some eternal wisdom for us once again. So everybody, please put your hands together and give a warm welcome for James Jeffley.
Thank you, Joseph. There's an old saying often recounted as a curse: may you live in interesting times. I think the last 2 years or so definitely qualify as interesting times. In fact, I think I may have moved beyond that and am now in a period I describe as plot twist. Toastmaster, distinguished guests, Toastmasters, and friends. My next level interesting happened on New Year's Eve when I learned that my sister and I were adopted. Plot twist. Life dialed up the interesting on me on January 3rd when our now adopted mother made her transition. Plot twist. 6 weeks later, an Ancestry.com DNA test revealed that I'm, wait for it, 19% Scottish. Overall, I tested 41% African and 59% European. After 59 and a half years, I finally learned that I'm really a white guy. Plot freaking twist. So what does any of this have to do with legacy or light? I went searching for the legacy of my family of origin, and after a few inquiries, I found some of them. My half-sister contacted me through the Ancestry app and told me of my birth origin. She even mentioned that our family history on my birth mother's side traces its lineage back to President John Adams. Now, how's that for legacy? Now, while historians are somewhat divided on what kind of president John Adams was, I'm not sure how any of that impacted me. I didn't know any of this. I just lived my life. It is interesting to note that President Adams himself once wrote, "I am not, never was, and never shall be a great man." As I approach my 200th year on the planet, oh, it feels like 200 years some days, I'm starting to think more about my legacy. What do I want to leave behind? What do I want to leave my son, who just turned 20 2 days ago? 20. Wow. His mom is really old. What do I want to leave behind? Well, to be clear, I'm not thinking about property, wills, or material things. I'm thinking about something less tangible, yet more indelible. I'm thinking about lessons, values, examples, good memories. I don't know that I've ever aspired to be a great man. Maybe I do have some of Adam's in me. What I think I want most is to leave a legacy of service, a legacy of heartfelt impact. When people think of me, I hope they remember that I was kind, or a good listener, or that I helped ease their burden or brought them some joy. I hope they remember that I made them laugh, or think, or motivated them to take action. When my name comes across someone's lips, I hope the taste of it is sweet. I don't think many people start thinking about legacy until much later in life, towards the end. And I think it may be too late at that point. Don't think of legacy as the big things you accomplish. Sure, that can equal legacy, but I think legacy also lives in the little things. I don't think of legacy as the harvest. I want to think of legacy as the seed. And whatever my legacy will be is based on the seeds that I plant right now in every conversation I have, in every class I teach, in every speech I give, in every interaction with everyone. And whatever seeds I sow now, if planted with intention, conviction, and care, I hope will one day sprout into a beautiful crop. And hopefully my son, my family, and my friends will reap a bountiful harvest. And like this Toastmasters Club that's been such a huge part of so many lives over the last 75 years, I invite each of you to leave a legacy that serves as a beacon, a light to help illuminate the dark places, to guide those who seek knowledge or truth, and to warm those who are embraced by the cold winds of indifference and greed. You see, it's not so much what we do that matters, but rather what we leave behind. I invite you to leave a legacy that lights the way to a better world for generations to come. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, James. As always, you delivered something worth taking with us and being all the stronger for it. So with that, God be with you and your family, and may all that you wish for be true. Okay, and now one of our most enduring, entertaining members, one who is always there as a source of guidance, a source of comfort, Ray Keating. He is going to be speaking about 75 years of what's been going on in the world while we've been a club. Ray, are you ready?
Yes, if you would share the screen for me.
Okay, everybody, please give a warm welcome to the one and only wonderful Ray Keating.
You should be able to share now.
Yes. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and most honored guests. 75 years old, our club, and what happened in the world during the milestones in those 75 years. San Leandro Toastmasters was chartered in 1947. Here's the world in 1947. Some people who were born in that year, besides me: David Bowie, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stephen King, Hillary Clinton, Elton John, and yes, O.J. Simpson. And on a good note, Carlos Santana. 1947, it was a year where the Marshall Plan was announced. That is important for me because I was born in Germany, and 2 years after the war, many of the Allies decided to make Germany an agricultural desert. So it will never be able to rise up and damage the world. But George Marshall decided, he was the Secretary of State, besides being a 5-star general, decided to put money into Germany, and the President of the United States agreed. And with the Marshall Plan, Germany became an industrialized nation. And George Marshall took another 75 years to take over District 57 of Toastmasters as district director. So George Marshall is a name that we should keep in mind. What else happened? Queen Elizabeth married Philip Mountbatten. The Cold War started and took another 40 years. India and Pakistan became independent, and there was a UFO incident in Roswell, New Mexico. The United Nations voted for creation of a free and independent Jewish state of Israel. And San Leandro, the city, celebrated the 75th anniversary of its incorporation. And you all know this year we celebrate the 150th anniversary. What else happened? Bell Labs invented the transistor. On the picture on the top left, you see the first transistor. The volume that transistor took would serve today probably for several million transistors. Chuck Yeager broke the sound barrier. Jackie Robinson joined the Brooklyn Dodgers and became the first African American to play in Major League Baseball. What nobody remembers but me is Tor Heyerdahl's balsa wood Kontiki smashes into the reef at Raroya in Polynesia, and the Dow Jones is at 176. 25 years later is the 25th anniversary of San Leandro Toastmasters in 1972. The NASA Space Shuttle program is officially launched. The Watergate scandal started with the arrest of 5 White House operatives for burglary of the Democratic National Committee offices. 11 Israeli athletes were murdered at the Munich Olympics by Arab terrorists. 100,000 Vietnamese anti-war demonstrators marched through US cities, and the Dow Jones closes above 1,000 for the first time in history. And then there is the year 1984, not a high anniversary date, but that year gasoline was $1.10 a gallon. The original Apple Macintosh went on sale. The Summer Olympics in LA were held, and the United Kingdom and China agree that Hong Kong will revert to China in 1997. George Orwell was a few years off with his predictions, only a few years. But personally, San Leandro Toastmasters turned 37 years old. I turned 37 years old. I joined San Leandro Toastmasters after immigrating from Germany the month before. That was 37 years ago. And then came 25 years after that, the 50th anniversary in 1997. Princess Diana is killed in a car accident. The movie Titanic premieres in the United States. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is published. You can get a copy on eBay of the first edition from England for about $250,000. Hong Kong is returned to Chinese rules. The Pathfinder lander and rover arrived on planet Mars, and the first cloned mammal is created. Remember Dolly the sheep? Madeleine Albright becomes the first female US Secretary of State. The Dow Jones closes at 7,000 for the first time in history. IBM Deep Blue computer beats Garry Kasparov, the chess champion. And now we are 25 years later in 2022. By the way, the Dow Jones is somewhere around 35,000. And we celebrate the 75th anniversary of San Leandro Toastmasters, where leaders are made. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Ray. Okay, that was very, very pleasant to take that trip through time. Now we're going in for table topics. Jessica, are you present?
Yes.
Give the timing for table topics. Now to keep everything moving along, Jessica is going to give you the rules, and if you can keep her in your view, then you will be able to see the color screen changes to let you know when your time's up. Jessica Johnson, please give us the timing rules.
Yeah, so table topics ad hoc, and so someone will, Aurora will be table topic master, so she'll give you a topic to respond to, and you have 1 minute to 1 minute and 30 seconds to complete the table topics. So 1 minute, you're qualified. If you pass 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you are then disqualified because you went over time. Thank you.
Thank you. And in keeping with the time, we may do what we don't usually do in meetings, and we may have to give a verbal prompt to say, gotta move it along. With that said, everyone, please welcome Aurora Bataclan to lead us in table topics.
Hello, my very favorite Toastmasters and honored guests. It is my privilege to be your topic master on this most momentous of evenings, our 75th anniversary. San Leandro Toastmasters has been instrumental in my growth and my development. These people are my friends and family, and so Thursday nights are very special. It's no surprise to me that we've lasted 75 years. So as your topic master this evening, I thought it would be fitting to ask questions that are aligned with the spirit of this club. And as it so happens, I have a book that I frequently visit when I need some introspection and I need to gain perspective. This book right here, it's called, you can't see it, but it's called Live in Wonder. There are amazing questions here, and I hope you enjoy them. My first question is going to Pauline Sanders. Pauline, are you ready for your question?
Yes.
How I've missed you, Pauline. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. Pauline, what great thing would you attempt if you knew you could not fail?
Fellow Toastmasters, it's really great to be here with you tonight. If I look a little sleepy, it's 10:10 here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I want to, first of all, thank Joseph for inviting me to this special anniversary. I was a member there actively for 31 years, and I was actually the president at the 50th anniversary of this club, and we celebrated at the Blue Dolphin in San Leandro, which is no longer. And if I could change the world, I think I would always, always, always be a Toastmaster. Toastmaster has been very, very instrumental in my life. And I have gone places that I could have never gone had I not been in Toastmasters. And I would, if I could do anything, I would love to have always had the legends that are members of the San Leandro Toastmasters to still always, always be around. And I'd like to be that there too. Thank you, Madam Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Pauline. I agree with you. My next question goes out to Leon. Leon, are you ready?
I am.
If you could only tattoo one word on your body that best captures who you are, what would it be and why?
Thank you for the question, Madam Topic Master. That's a really interesting question because I actually, when I grow up, my culture, tattoo is considered bad or not good, but it has become very common nowadays. It's just another form where people can express themselves and display what's important on their body. So my perspective has changed a lot in terms of tattoo. I see it as a common thing of another form where people express. So I don't feel it as a bad thing, but I would never get a tattoo just because I don't want to put anything on my body, because it's permanent thing that I wouldn't do it. But if I were to get a tattoo, with one word, I would put respect. I think respect is very important because we live in a very complex world. Everybody experiences the world differently. They grow up differently, different culture, different values. So we have to respect everybody, what's their perspective is. Because we see war right now is because we want to enforce, one country want to enforce their value on another country. They don't respect it. You know, I know that sometimes other people value we see is like wrong, negative, or we think that what we value is more important than other, but it just, this world is complex and we have to respect that. Just like we look into nature, we see rock, we see animal, and we see mountain. We don't say that they shouldn't be like that. It's what it is. So we just have to respect and appreciate things. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Leon. That is a very valuable message. Before I call my next speaker, I see Karina, you have your hand raised.
Thank you very much. I would love to participate now if possible, because I unfortunately have to leave a little early tonight.
No worries, no worries. I'm glad you said something.
Thank you.
All right, Karina, what's more important to you, to be respected or to be liked?
This is a very simple question for me. First of all, my name is Karina Lopez. Good evening, everyone here, Toastmasters and guests. Congratulations on your 75th anniversary. As a council member here in San Leandro, I would like very much to have you join us in our celebration as a city for the 150th, which will be commencing later on this spring and throughout the year. To be respected, I think, is the ultimate form of currency. Wars have been waged throughout millennium because this has not necessarily always been in the forefront. People think that gold and money and silver and land are the most valuable things in terms of currency. That is not the case. Respect is the ultimate form of currency. If one shows respect to others, no matter what station in life, one will earn a friend, and perhaps for life. Respect is beyond what we understand with our seniors. It is coming from a place where we treat our fellow human beings with integrity and love. We can show this by nonverbal communication as well as verbal communication. And when someone misses the mark and does not show respect, one has the opportunity to be a mentor and should respond, not in kind, but with the higher ground, because ultimately to respect each other means taking the most important thing that we have in the human spirit and exemplifying that to each other. It is ultimately beyond even and greater than love and kindness. It can be done in all places that we travel, and it can be done in our everyday lives. And I thank you very much for this question tonight, Aurora.
Thank you, Karina. Very well said. Thank you. Mr. Toastmaster, do I have time for one more question?
Well, I'd like to try to keep everything to the program, so I'm going to go ahead and say, hold on. If you haven't been asked yet, you'll get the next segment. We have 2 more table topic segments coming up. Right now, we're going to listen to Jim Pinio give us 75 years of history of San Leandro Toastmasters itself. Jim, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, everybody, please give a warm hand to a pillar of our club, somebody who has held all the memorabilia, the legacy, the records of San Leandro Toastmasters, kept warm and for us to enjoy it even today. With this, we all thank you, Jim. You're so valuable to the club. You are a pillar for us all. So what do you have to say about 75 years of San Leandro Toastmasters? Everyone, warm round of applause for Jim.
"75 years ago, a group of men got together and formed San Leandro Toastmasters. Now then, the minimum age was 18, and it was for men only. Well, I was only 6 at the time, so I wasn't eligible to join. However, 22 years later, a co-worker of mine suggested I go to a Toastmaster meeting. I came, and the rest is history. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow members, and welcome guests. Yes, 22 years later, I joined. And a lot of things have happened. At that time, though, we actually dressed in suits because that we were at a meeting. It was very formal. We had a beautiful meeting room at the library, which is one thing a lot of Toastmaster clubs don't have. It was a free room. It had a place for us to store all of our supplies. It had a sink and outlet so we could actually have coffee at our breaks. Now, as time went by, the library needed renovation. So we were put out for 3 years. Well, during this time, we were lucky that one of our members had an inn, and we met at Pacific Title Company at Alvarado and Davis Street in San Leandro. After that, we were put back in the library. The trouble is, we no longer had our cabinet, and we no longer had our coffee or outlet. So we had to bring it in like a lot of others, but we still enjoyed and liked the free room, and it was very spacious at the San Leandro Library. It wasn't until 1973 that women were allowed into Toastmasters. And at that time, we invited women to come in, but there were a couple of members who didn't like having women in Toastmasters. And they made their thoughts known. And there was a nearby club that took advantage of that and gained these women. However, we did accept women into the club. And as you can see tonight, some of our gracious ladies here are very, very accomplished Toastmasters. So we gained, and having women in there was really a gain. One of the reasons why they didn't have women at the beginning in Toastmasters was because Toastmasters was a YMCA project, which would be for men. So that's where that came from. Our manuals, they didn't have manuals when they first started. And they didn't give you awards. When I finished my basic manual, I got a letter that said, "You have finished the basic manual." Now I had, at that time, they had just come out with manuals. We had 2 manuals. And those manuals were basic and advanced, period. Since then, they have added steps in between, and they've added different kinds. They had different degrees of level of achievement, ATM bronze, ATM silver, etc., which means able Toastmaster, bronze, silver, and gold. And one thing that was added also to the Toastmasters, and our club took advantage of, was leadership. People found out when you can communicate, then you can also lead. And those are the people that they want for leaders. So Toastmasters by default went from communication into communication and leadership. Now, it's expanded beyond that, beyond the leadership, beyond everything. We have a change in our logo. If you look at the older logo, the newer one, they're different. Also, we've had changes in our educational. Number one, we had 2 manuals. Then we had several manuals in the advanced manual. Now they've changed it to pathways, which gives people who come into Toastmasters the added advantage that they can have 15 different paths that they can take depending upon what they want to achieve in their communication goals. One of the biggest things with it is mentoring. There is a difference between coaching and mentoring. Coaching, they tell you what to do and how to do it. Mentoring, you encourage the individual to find his own reasons and paths and why he's doing things and what he can do to improve himself. And we have gone on that particular path. We have mentoring now. But I think I have really gained, and recently I've even gained by the individuals that we've had in this club. Aurora. I know Pauline, I really respected her when she was with the club. We have had several other women in our club that have made the club better. And that's where San Leandro stands now. Men and women working together, mentoring and leading and communicating to advance each other. So it's really a unique unit. And the phrase is, if you want to get everything you can out of Toastmasters, you'll never get out of Toastmasters. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jim. And that is so true. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it. And there's so much opportunity here. With that said, let's jump into some more fun. Aurora, let's take us back into table topics.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Well, I've got a surprise for you. I wanted to mix things up a little bit, and so I'm deviating from the classics into some more visual table topics questions, rather. My next victim, whom I would like to call, would be the lovely Giselle. Giselle, are you ready? Now, I wish that we could be together having dinner, but we can't. And this is the best I can offer all of you, some virtual drinks. Giselle, please pick a number.
Am I muted?
No, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I'll have, I'm trying to look at, I think okay, I'll take number 3.
You'll take number 3. Oh, that looks delicious. I'm so glad you picked that. Okay. So Giselle, I placed this quote on my front door to remind me every day before I walk out of the house that I have a choice. And to me, day one is always the choice. But Giselle, is there ever a time when one day is actually the right choice?
So, fellow Toastmasters, we only have like one life in this world. So if we only have one choice and we only choose that in our lifetime, I would say you would have to decide if it's the right or the wrong choice, because of how you perceive it. So as for me, I wanted to become an independent artist one day. And some people say, well, it's very hard to live as an artist because it's not very demanding as other fields, especially coding, programming, because you do get hired. It's more demanding, and you get hired by many other jobs than what I wanted to work. I want to be an animator, and also it's very difficult for me to take that path, but I am getting some freelance jobs. But I wouldn't say it's a bad choice for me because I love what I do, even though there are going to be some setbacks. But for anyone who really has something that they wanted to do in their lifetime, then just have a leap of faith and just go for it. And my fellow Toastmaster, that is my table topic.
Thank you very much, Giselle. Now, I would like to call on Alvaro. Alvaro, I'm going to offer you a drink. Let's see here. Share screen. Okay. Oh, 1 second. Okay, Alvaro. Which drink would you like?
Thank you, Table Topic Master, for the question. I'm going to have to go with Giselle's choice as well, because I will be in Hawaii very soon in a couple of weeks. So I will go with number 3, and I'll be enjoying a pina colada then as well.
All right, my friend, then please tell us one day or day one.
Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests of the evening, I can see both sides of the coin for that particular question. Sure, day one. I think there's a lot of things that we all want to start, and certainly it being still relatively close to the new year, we all have New Year's resolutions that we say today, January 1st is day one for going to the gym, for doing something that we want to get better at, or a new skill that we want to adapt. For me, it's been a lot of day ones for wanting to start playing an instrument. I keep saying that I'd love to be able to play guitar or piano at some point. And so I keep going at it. It's something that I hope to one day have day one and have it continue on and say day 365 a year later that I keep it going. But I guess for something like that, it is in fact one day a possibility that I will learn how to play an instrument. I think it's important to both in life be realistic. And so I think there are certain things that we can say, hey, I want to start something today and I want to change my life, improve my life in this particular way by learning a skill, but etc. But there are certain things that sometimes you can't do in the moment. I'd like to one day own a house, for example, in San Leandro. I've been here for 15 years. And so that is my goal right now. Realistically, I can't purchase a home, but it has been a while back, day one, since I've started to budget for a home. So at one point, I hope I can say one day I will have a house to myself that is of my own. So thank you for the question, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Alvaro. Let's see. I'm just dying to hear what Ilma has to say. Ilma, can I offer you a drink?
Yes, ma'am. And I definitely will pick number 10. I love coffee.
Oh, that's fantastic, Ilma. I'm so glad. Well, if someone came up to you and said, hey, Ilma, do that thing you do, what's the first thing that would pop in your head?
Oh my goodness. I definitely love drinking coffee. I don't think you guys know how much I love drinking coffee. So I always invite my friends, my community members, whenever they want to discuss something, we definitely do it over coffee. I wish, and I believe all of you are thinking that I could dance and sing. I cannot dance and I cannot sing, not in this lifetime, maybe in the next one. But I just want to share my experiences with coffee. I've met actually a lot of Toastmasters over coffee, and it's just, it adds to that wonderful conversation. Some people drink alcoholic drinks, some people drink tea. I love coffee. I can drink it cold, old, it doesn't matter. But I also want to take this opportunity to just smile and really thank each one of you that are in this Zoom meeting, because I have really and truly learned a lot from all of you. Whether you are a new member or not, I have learned from your words of wisdom. And I cannot stop thanking all of you and thanking Toastmasters for giving me the confidence that I could only dreamed of. Thank you, Aurora.
Thank you, Ilma. Mr. Toastmaster, we are at 7:30, so I'm going to turn it back to you.
Thank you, Aurora. And now it is time for you to meet one of our past area directors. Part of the leadership experience in Toastmasters International is to not only lead within your club, but to help a group of clubs and then help a division of clubs and work your way all the way up. Ron is one of those members, and he's also an avid contestant. And him and I have been on stage a few times in competition. Wonderful, fun competition. So please welcome Ron Fitch.
Okay, I can be heard. Very good. Wow, what an event. I want to start from a slightly different direction that James Jeffley gave us tonight, because he talked about President John Adams. You know, in Toastmasters, the speeches we give reflect what is going on at the time. And if there had been Toastmasters in 1800, wow, the speeches we would have heard. Most people think that the last, 2 or 3 presidential elections were vicious. No, nothing compared to 1800. In 1800, you didn't campaign for yourself. You had your friends sling all the mud. The campaign between John Adams and Thomas Jefferson was so vicious that they severed their friendship for like 15 years. And one day, John Adams said, you know, I forgot why we stopped talking. And he sent a letter to Thomas Jefferson. They resumed their correspondence. John Adams' son, John Quincy, became the president in 1825. And in 1826, when we were celebrating our 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson were at home, lying in bed. They both died on July 4th, 1826. And the last words out of John Adams' mouth was, Thomas Jefferson succeeds me. What he didn't know was that Thomas Jefferson had passed on about 4 hours earlier. My point of all that, I wish James could have heard this, because now that we know about his connection to John Adams, by the way, John Adams was the first person to say the vice presidency is a do-nothing job. When just before we actually got the kind of the history, I was thinking about the very topic. What has gone on in the 75 years since your club was founded? We went through 13 presidents, the end of World War II, but moved into Korea and Vietnam, and there was the 9/11. Of course, we had Watergate. The oil prices went up. Think of the music, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and all of the different flavors of music and the movies that came out during that time. And you guys have survived it. That's amazing. One of the most important things that happened in Toastmasters, as was said earlier, was when women became allowed to become members. You guys are better leaders than we are. Bottom line, and you're often better speakers. When I joined Toastmasters, fellow San Leandro members and the guests, I joined Toastmasters kicking and screaming. My workmate at the time said, we either do Toastmasters or you're out of here. Okay, so I sat back with my feet up on the table for about a month until I got called out for table topics. Amazingly enough, I won the blue ribbon that night. I went on that following year to take the table topics contest all the way to the district level. 6 months later, my workmate and I had a falling out. She quit the club. I'm still with the Alameda Tongue Twisters. My motto is, if it's Tuesday, it must be Toastmasters, because my club meets on Tuesday. I didn't know if I wanted to get into the leadership side. Somebody said to me, you should become an area director. And I said, well, I won't say no to that. To make a long story short, I became director of Area A1. And of course, your club is a part of Area A1. I enjoyed making several visits. Most area directors show up once in the fall and once in the spring because they have to. I visited every one of my clubs that would have me at least 4 or 5 times, because that's what you really do. It's about mentoring. But if your club sucks, I don't want to come back. Guess what, folks? You guys kept me coming back.
Thanks, Ron.
That is so cool. what kept me coming back is the fact
You gotta
that
watch
one,
the
you've
time,
got
though.
that
You gotta watch the
charter,
time.
and two, you live up to that charter. I see different faces every time I showed up at the library, and some of the same old and a lot of new. I've learned new speaking ideas from you people. I'm going to use them in the contest coming up soon. Thank you for giving me some cool ideas.
Thank you, Ron. We really appreciate that. We're gonna have to cut you off right there. I'm
Okay,
sorry if
no
you have more to
problem. Well,
say,
thank
but
you.
letting
I'm
you go will
glad
cut
to
other
be here
people off the
tonight.
program. Thank you, Ron, and it's great having you. And when people learned you were gonna be here, they got excited, and thank you for bringing that here. And with that said, our next speaker, Gigi Zablon, is going to talk to us about the wonderful diversity of Toastmasters and how we have family around the world whenever we are a Toastmaster. So please help me welcome Gigi Zablon.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joseph. Once again, congratulations, fellow Toastmasters from San Leandro, and thank you so much to all the leaders and all of those who have been a pillar of this amazing club. Well, San Leandro Toastmaster Club is the first club I visited when I arrived here in the US late or early in June, and it's love at first sight. I've been going around different clubs, but I'm still coming back to San Leandro. And today I would like to share with you how Toastmaster had really changed my life and changed the lives of so many people. I'm sure you've heard this before. I always say it, alone we could do a little, but together we could do so much. This has really been my motto since the time I joined Toastmaster. Well, not really joined, but actually I was pushed by a gentleman whom some of you may know, DTM Mohammed Murad, who was our Toastmaster International past president, the very first Arab to be a president. So he's mainly from Dubai. So when I was pushed to be the president of a new club, Desert Voices, I was lost. I didn't know what to do, but I had the support of all the leaders, and eventually I was able to cope. Toastmaster had helped me to reach out to more people. I have been blessed to receive awards and recognition, but in fact, the wind beneath my wings is really Toastmaster. For one, there was a Filipino computer club that has trained 33,000 people. We formed a Filipino Toastmaster club as well that had organized speechcraft. Then we had yoga. We have Friends of Yoga Toastmaster Club, where the leaders, the yoga teachers have been trained in Toastmasters so that they can stand in front and be confident. In the St. Mary's Church, who is actually having about 30,000 parishioners attending the Holy Mass, the volunteers were also trained by Toastmasters. There are so many instances where we had fundraising campaigns and Toastmasters were there to support us. Of course, it's not very openly, but they use their own way on how we can influence others to make sure that we're able to contribute. My fellow Toastmasters and friends, I'm sharing this with you today, mainly to remind each and every one of us that Toastmaster has given us a very strong power, a very strong influence. In these very trying times, I think there's a lot we can do, mainly to connect with others as well. We are never alone. We have our fellow Toastmasters. Thank you for having me tonight. Back to you, Toastmaster Joseph.
Thank you, Gigi. With that said, we are going to have a couple more table topics respondents. Our area director, Christian, will be answering, and another one of our council members, Brian. But to do the question part of that, I'm going to hand it back over to Aurora. Please welcome Aurora Bataclan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster. I am so excited to get to ask Christian and Brian a question. Let me start with Christian. So Christian, you've seen, I have two different styles of table topics going on, right? I've got the classic and then I've got the drinks, the virtual drinks. I offer you a choice. Do you want a classic question or do you want the virtual drink?
I want a virtual drink.
You want a virtual drink? Well, I totally get that. On that note, Christian, which drink would you like?
Ooh, man, this looks so great.
Yes, doesn't it?
I'm gonna go with 4.
Good choice.
They all look wonderful.
So, Christian, would you rather be a clown who distracts the bull or the cowboy who rides the bull?
Ooh. Would I rather be a clown that distracts the bull, or would I rather be the cowboy that rides the bull? Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master. I think that life is about taking risks. And one of the things about this life, I'm sure we've all seen, is that we've had people who take risks, and then we've seen people who kind of stand on the sidelines. And what you'll find is that people who really kind of jump in there are the ones that like shoot up so high, so fast. And we really admire those people. And so one of the reasons why I'm using this analogy is because if I'm going to choose to ride the bull, and the reason why I'm going to choose to ride the bull is because I would have always had the experience, or I would have always had the thought of, I wonder what it would have been like to actually jump in there, jump in the ring, take a risk. Now, if you actually put me in front of a bull, I probably would be a little scared, right? I think all of us, and sometimes the unknown makes us so uncomfortable that we just don't, we don't really want to go into it, because it's just like, I'm just not sure. I'm not scared. What about my safety? What if I don't succeed? What if I fail? What if I get thrown off? You know, so I'll say that I most definitely would get on that thing, and hopefully I'll succeed. Thank you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Christian. Brian, are you ready for your question?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right.
Hello,
Well,
hello,
actually,
everyone. Thank you for having me. I know a lot of you. I've come to Toastmasters a few times, and I've met some of you. Cool. Yeah, go ahead.
we're so happy to have you here. Well, you can choose. Do you want a classic question or do you want a drink?
I guess I'll take a drink.
We'll take a drink. That's awesome. Here we go. Which drink would you like?
I'll take number 2. I guess I'll just take a beer for right now.
You'll take a beer, okay. Brian, Mr. Azevedo, would you rather have more time or more money?
Oh, that's an easy one. More time, definitely more time. I work 3 jobs. I'm on 5 committees with 5 kids. So I'll definitely like to have more time to spend with my family and spend with the community. Right now I'm splitting myself between my job, my city council job, my other job, because city council is only a part-time job. It's whatever you put into. You can do the bare minimum and just go to the meetings, or you can be out there helping the community all the time. So it's all what you put into it. So I have that job, and then I'm also a foreman. I'm a sheet metal worker. And yeah, so I have 5 kids, and I would love to spend more time with them, go on more vacations, but it's tough right now with all these jobs. And yeah, I would definitely like to have more time to spend with my family and kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Mr. Toastmaster, do I have time for one more question?
Yes, you do. We're not going to do any of the voting or awards today. We're just going to wrap it up when you're done, and so So yes, please ask another question.
Thank you so much. I would like to ask Terry the question. Terry, would you like a classic question or a drink?
I'll go ahead and take the drink.
You'll take the drink. Wonderful.
Yes.
Here we go. Which drink would you like?
Well, unfortunately, I don't see a Long Island iced tea up there, but I guess I will go with number 7.
Number 7. Ooh, okay, Terry. Terry, this is really important. Okay, please think about your answer carefully. Is the glass half empty or half full?
Definitely half full. I would say that. There's always been a tendency to be on the lower side of things and look at it like, well, apparently either somebody drank half of it and now it's half empty, but it's actually half full because you want to start out with and enjoy the experience to the fullest capabilities that you can, but also have enough left to continue your journey at another time when you're better able, or you take a break and you can just relax and recenter yourself and move forward again. So you still have that glass that's half full. Also, with more thought and more input, you can always refill it. Put it back to the top, drink it again, make it half full again. So it's always there to refill as long as you're willing to put in the energy to rebuild yourself, to try to make yourself better, to try to help other people make themselves better. And then also is there to share with someone else who may be just as thirsty as you. So with that being said, I'd like to conclude and give it back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Terry. Mr. Toastmaster, did I hear you say that are we doing voting tonight? No, we are not. Okay, on that note, do I have time for one more, or does that?
Yes,
I do have time for one more. Oh my goodness, this is so great. Well, I would like to call on a guest next. Valerie, would you like to participate? Okay, you're muted right now, Valerie.
Yes.
There you go. Valerie, would you like a classic or a drink?
I'm going to go with a classic tonight.
Oh, you'll go with a classic. You rebel. I love it. Valerie, what keeps you going on a bad day?
Madam Topic Master, thank you for that question. What keeps me going on a bad day? What keeps me going is knowing, frankly, one of the things that always brings me back is remembering that I have children, remembering that I want them to have a future that they feel good about. I want them to have a life that they feel good about. So I know, while I know that it's okay to have a bad day, it's not only okay, it's just going to happen. It's just human. And I want to model that for them. I want them to know that it's okay, that we get to embrace those moments, but they don't have to bring us to a place of feeling like our glass is half empty, that in fact, we get to just be with those moments and make a different choice. Those things are always going to happen. There's always going to be difficulty, but it's all about, I want them to learn that it's about what do we do? What are we choosing in this moment? So that's, if nothing else, I'm always able to come back to that place. And I'm so grateful for that. And for this question, Madam Toastmaster, Topic Master, thank you.
Thank you so much, Valerie.
Madam Topic Master, I want to ask you one more question. Juan Gonzalez was one of the first to arrive at this meeting, and he had to struggle through our technical difficulties and actually helped us get through them. So would you please, if he's willing, ask him a question? And
Of
then I'll be real
course.
quick and hand it over to Will.
Oh my goodness.
Juan, does this mean you're willing to answer a question?
I will try to match your energy.
Okay. So Juan, classic or virtual drink?
Let me go with classic.
Ooh, classic. All right. Juan, what is your definition of power?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster or Topic Master, Table Topic. Bleh. Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master, for the wonderful question. Power is an interesting attribute. It can either be perceived as power from on top coming down on people, or from the bottom working its way up, lifting. I'm a big believer that power is the ability to help others succeed, the ability to embrace the energy that people bring to collectively help people achieve their goals, their desires, and to satisfy their needs. Power is incredibly useful because it can bring the community together to achieve a goal. Power can also be a little bit dangerous when people that are like-minded begin to hurt other people. So my focus will always be and has always been on using power, embracing power for the purpose of lifting. And if you're able to lift people up, then you are powerful. Back to you, Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Juan. Wonderful answer. Mr. Toastmaster, I turn it back to you.
Thank you, Aurora. Well, everyone, before I turn it over to our president for closing remarks, I just want to say thank you for coming and celebrating 75 years of San Leandro Toastmasters with us. We hope that you come on back, enjoy our regular Thursday night meetings at the same link, and thank you. Thank you for being here and being part of history. I have gained from all of you. I hope you feel this was time well spent. And with that, please, one big applause before I hand it over to our president. Applause to all our speakers tonight. Thank you so much for making this meeting something so special to me. Toastmasters has been part of my life in such a way that, well, I'll be honest with you, as Jim said earlier, if you get all you can out of it, you won't ever want to leave because there's always more to grow from, always more to gain. With that said, I'm going to hand it over to our president, Mr. William Way. Thank you for joining us. This is the VP Public Relations for this term, Joseph Stegner, signing off and handing it over to Will Way. Thank you for coming. Everyone, please welcome Will Way.
Thank you so much, Joseph. And can everyone here just give a warm welcome of applause to Joseph? So he is actually the one who coordinated all the different speakers, planned out the agenda, making sure we stick on time. And he absolutely did a fantastic job. So props to you, Joseph. Wow, I can't believe this meeting is coming to an end. 75th anniversary. I actually can't wait for the next one, but I think we'll have to wait another 75 years, huh? I mean, I think time will go fast. I think what really resonated with me today is actually Ray's PowerPoint, 75 years and the different points of history. I saw a lot of parallelism for what went on when San Leandro Toastmasters was founded in 25 years, in 50 years, and 75 years, which is today, right? And what are those parallelisms? Maybe we're at war in some conflicts. Maybe some celebrity has passed away. And what? Gas prices going up? What else is new, right? But I would like to say, despite all the differences and all the difficulties that us as human beings have been through, we are able to gather here tonight for a wonderful event. And this is not an easy event to plan. And I'm so glad to have everyone here and just share their story and really empower and uplift everyone, like what Juana said, right? That is true power. And we should all have the ability to do that and make each other great. And I would like to also share a story from when I was in Boy Scouts. And yes, I was in Boy Scouts a while ago, and we had many, many different life lessons. And one of them was be prepared. And no matter what you do in life, always be prepared. Whether you're giving a presentation, be prepared. Whether you're going up and meet someone new and introduce yourself, be prepared. And what is the underlying message of that? It's communication, right? We have to talk to that individual. And Toastmasters has definitely helped me with that. And also people across the world with accomplishing their communication goals and also their public speaking skills. And without it, I don't know where I'd be at. And also, I would like to say, going forward, something I learned from Boy Scouts is, and this is a quote, take nothing but memory, leave nothing but footprints. And so let's keep making memories going forward for the next 75 years. Let's keep paving the path for other people and leaving footprints behind. I thank you all very, very much for joining tonight's meeting, and have a wonderful evening, guys. And I call this meeting adjourned. Thanks so much, everyone.
Right. Thank you, everyone. Had a good night.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Well,
everyone.
All right.
Joseph, thank you for organizing
Great.
this.
Great meeting.
Awesome.
You're
Awesome job,
welcome,
Joseph.
everyone.
Thanks everyone for participating. Amazing table
Thank you.
topics responses. Christian, Juan, Valerie, oh my God.
If you
Oh
didn't
my
sign
mind.
the form,
Fireworks.
Right.
if you didn't sign the form for consent, we'd like to get a hold of you at some point if you can do that right now. But I know when I went to sign it, it warned me it was going to take me out of Zoom, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. So we'll get back to you. We got all your names. If we could screenshot that, make sure that we got everyone that was here. We get a hold of you, because we'd like to make this a video for other clubs to look at and see in the future. So everyone, thanks for making this special. We're doing it. We're ending on time. So on behalf of San Leandro Toastmasters, thanks to all of you, and may the best future be what is for all of us. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful
job.
night.
Good job.
Well done.
Star, hey Star.
Excellent. All right. Hey.
Thank you.
Well done,
Bye,
Joseph.
everyone.
That's
Any
amazing.
comments?
Amazing meeting.
I think
We
can
don't
stop
wanna
recording.
leave.
Maybe how we stop recording and
I
then
know,
just stop recording and then just get into some conversation. How's that? That sound good?
Well, I'm really so impressed with the leaders, hearing DTM Ray talk about the history as well as all the other leaders. Amazing. There's a lot to learn from you. I hope the Desert Voices will also reach 75 years. Oh my goodness.
We do also. We do also.
Yeah.
Great seeing all of you.
Thank
Well,
you. That's amazing.
As a 55-year-old rookie, I'm just glad I was able to make it to this. This is awesome. It really helps gets my yeah. I thought I was already fired up enough, but this is just like I love it. I love it. I love it.